So I know I said year 4 was meant to be 4 videos a week, Monday through Thursday, and it's obviously not Monday, but it was a 3-day weekend. And the family obviously always comes first. And the bonus of all of that is soap content is evergreen. So you can watch this whenever. We are getting back into the coffee swing of things this week, and I will tell you more about today's video in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for another round of our coffee series. And this week we are going to be tackling all of the cool ways that you can incorporate coffee into your soaps. And so we are going to be tackling coffee in the form of a coffee butter, coffee in the form of a coffee oil, coffee in the form of a coffee infusion into your lye solution, and coffee in the form of obviously lye solution plus the grounds to do an exfoliating bar. And at the end of the week, we are going to test all of the recipes that are going to be given this week. You're getting recipes. Isn't that awesome? I know. I'm super nice. I don't have to do that. And today we are going to be starting out with a coffee butter soap recipe. Now, the coffee butter soap recipe is going to be super simple. It's basically 2 ingredients, but we're going to talk about those 2 ingredients, why I selected them, and while we do that, we're going to look at what the coffee butter itself does for the consistency of the soap batter, for the consistency of the color, and also experiment with a new pour that I've been obsessed with recently. So let's go there and do all of that. Okay, so today we are making the first of 4 bars that we are doing this week featuring coffee in some form. Now, for this particular bar, I am measuring out the lye solution here, and I will then be doing my fragrances. This bar is going to be scented with tobacco vanille from, it's a Tom Ford dupe from Sierra Candles, as well as vanilla embers. Now, I am splitting the actual scent into 2 different portions. And so half of the batch is going to be colored with activated charcoal, and the other half of the batch is going to be colored with kaolin clay, copious amounts of both. Recipe will be coming up, and we'll talk more about that when it does. But the reason why I'm separating the scents the way that I am is because the tobacco vanille from Sierra Candles discolors, while the vanilla embers from Sierra Candles does not. And so I'm going to do a 2-color pour where I am working with a weird wall pour swirl thing. I don't know. Ultimately, I forget to do all the swirling with all of this. And so it just becomes something that kind of looks like a rib cage probably when it's all said and done. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, the darker one in color is the vanilla embers. And as I said, beautiful vanilla scent that does not discolor. So if you are interested in a vanilla scent with no discoloration, definitely check out Sierra Candles and that, the vanilla embers for sure. Now with all of this, obviously just prepping my kaolin clay, getting everything ready, along with my activated charcoal, to have all of my clays effectively ready to go to then disperse the actual soap batter into once I get to that point. The lye solution itself, it's not enhanced with anything. So it's just a straight lye solution with your distilled water and your lye. Looking at, I think, a 5% superfat with all of this. I'm not sure, but the water is 1.5 times the lye with all of this because of, that's what I soap with because of all the clays. I mean, I'll just give you the recipe now so we can know what we're working with as far as the oils and everything go. So, really easy, 50% coffee butter and 50% coconut oil. Now, the coffee butter that I'm using is that 60-40 split of shea and the coffee oil that I showed you last week. Now, I'm using this because, well, I want to. It's a very high amount of the coffee oil, the infusion in all of this, and shea butter is a lot of fun. And the reason why I'm working with coconut oil at 50% is because the shea is, essentially the coffee butter is working at that 50% mark. And so we're going to have a lot of moisture coming from the shea butter. So realistically, what you're looking at with this particular recipe is, if you broke that down, because we made the coffee butter, and so we know what's in it. It's a 60-40 split, which really means that this total recipe is 30% shea, 20% of the coffee oil, which is an olive oil, coffee oil infusion, and then 50% of the coconut oil. Now, shea butter is very, very high in unsaponifiables, unusually high for a soaping oil. It's anywhere between like 5 and 25%, depending on how you get your shea, essentially. So, how processed your shea ultimately is. Now, having that amount of unsaponifiables in the shea butter, what does that mean? Well, that means that it is going to be an overly superfatted bar effectively, because a lot of the shea butter is not saponifiable, which means that will be the bulk of your superfat and will actually increase the superfat a little bit within your recipes. It's not enough to worry about within adjusting your lye solutions, because we're not going for a crazy superfat. As I said, this is just a 5% superfat overall. So this shea butter being, again, high in unsaponifiables, mostly vitamin E, so that's great. We're getting all the skin loving benefits of the vitamin E from the shea butter, and then all of the beautiful skin loving benefits from the coffee extract, the infusion itself. So we're looking at the caffeine for brightening and tightening and glowing, all of the AHAs, all of the tannins, all of the jazz. It should be a very moisturizing and luxurious bar, but I do still want it to be cleansing, and I don't want it to leave any sort of weird film, which is why I'm soaping that coconut oil at 50%. So I'm very interested in seeing what this does for the tests and what that lather ends up looking like. I am going to assume that that lather is going to be pretty big and bubbly and beautiful, but it's going to have a lovely hand feel. But we will have to wait until, the end of this week to do all the lather tests on all of it, because right now we just got to make all the soaps and see what we're working with. So let's get to the pour of this guy, where again I mess it up and it ends up just kind of looking like a rib cage or a spine or something. Okay, and now on to the pour of this. And as you can see already, my gray selection there, it's already much, much thicker than my white selection. Now, this is not really because of the fragrance oil, because of the soaping notes that are on Sierra Candle's website. It says that the tobacco vanille does not accelerate. And I think, found that to be my experience with the tobacco vanille. And so, really, probably what this is going to be the activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, when using it to color, can be really awesome, you know, but if you are not actually putting this into a water to disperse it, and you're just adding it directly to your soap oils, as I did, it can definitely thicken up a batch very, very quickly. Whereas kaolin clay, it's a very user-friendly clay to use within all of your soap recipes. It doesn't tend to accelerate the batch too terribly much and overly thicken it, especially when you're working at your higher water numbers, which is why I am doing, what I'm doing with my water. And I actually did say it's 1.5 times. It's not, it's 2.4. I soap my water at 2.4 times. So for the people who just stuck around for the recipe and heard 1.5 times water, sorry, I guess it sucks to suck and not watch the whole video, because I did mess up. Now, this particular pour here, I was going for like a wall pour type thing that I thought I would then skewer and do some fun stuff with. I don't know. I've become really interested in doing weird stuff in the molds lately. I'm sure this thing has a name, but because I forgot to do, the, well, it's not a skewer. I wanted to use my hanger, and I'm pretty sure I didn't use my hanger on this guy. It's not going to do really what I want it to do at all. And I think if memory serves, I don't cut it right either, but it's okay because as soon as it started going thick like this, I knew I wasn't going to get the overall effect that I was going for regardless. And so it was just going to be kind of some sort of mess, but that's okay because we will get to see it in action and we'll get to see the discoloration between the white part and the gray part. And obviously, we are here for the recipe and the tests more than anything else. So it's all right. And I always say that if the design doesn't go the way you want it to, it's fine. It's still a beautiful, usable bar of soap that cleans your skin and makes your skin feel nice and does, all those things. So it's all right if the pour isn't exactly perfect. And we've had those conversations multiple times over the years with this, as far as what a beautiful soap does in your line versus a not as beautiful. And the not as beautiful soaps for me, they sell way better. I'm just saying. Now, to this actual recipe, we're talking about the differences in the oils and all the skin loving benefits or whatever. I do have to say, just as a person that exists on the YouTubes and wants to be responsible with the things that I put out, we have to remind ourselves that soap is not a leave-on product. It is something that does not exist on our skin for very long. So do I think that you're actually getting all of those benefits? No, I really don't. We've gone through, what the skin actually absorbs and how long it takes to absorb it in other videos. Go check those out. That would be fun. But net for a rinse off product, you're not going to be getting all of the big beautiful benefits actually absorbed into the skin and doing, really anything of note. But that does not mean that it's not beneficial to be putting this into your soap. It's not just about the bubble. It really is about the feel of your skin while you are soaping, the feel of your skin afterwards. Is it stripping your skin of any of its needed moisture? Is it applying too much moisture and your skin is left tacky? Those sorts of things are important even in a leave-on product. And so it is good to talk about the benefits of the oils and butters that you put into your recipe, regardless of whether or not they're going to have an overall skin benefit. And that stuff was really thick. Let's go check out this cut. And so, yes, this is day 2. We are going on to the cut. And oh my gosh, that brown is so brown. And do you remember that it was not brown? Do you remember that it was not brown? Do you remember that I used activated charcoal for that? And it is not brown. And that loaf is so shiny and beautiful. And also, look what's so shiny and beautiful. Do you see? Ta-da! It's my beautiful cutter. Isn't it the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life? I know. Me too. It's incredible. This is a Mr. Soap and Clay original, obviously, because he makes all of my cutters and does my stuff. And he had to make this, oh gosh, several months ago. And so I've had it on hand for quite a while. I just had said in year 3 that I was going to stop using my cutter because too many people were talking shit about it and it bothered me. And so I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore. You don't like my broken cutter? I'll never show you a cut ever again. And I didn't until I started to in the 31 days of Soapmas and just ignored my single bar cutter and didn't talk about it at all. But now we can talk about it because we are here for that. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to show you the multi-cutter as well. But yeah, so I did cut it the wrong way and inside it looks terrible. Like those are 2 very ugly colors together. There is no gray, there is no black, there is none of that beautiful caramel brown that we see on the outsides. But don't you worry, on the outside is how we know that the tobacco vanille, scent is going to continue its discoloration. And it certainly does continue its discoloration. It's delightful. It goes into this beautiful, just absolutely stunning, gorgeous. It actually ends up looking more black than anything else when it's all said and done because throughout the cure, as you're losing the water and the fragrance is continuing to, do its discoloration thing, it ends up looking more like the activated charcoal in its regular form, which is, black. And so you'll get to see that on the end of this week when we do all the tests. But for now, that's what it looks like. And I was not in love with it. Really. I really wasn't when I was cutting it. Like, this is not beautiful. It's not the vibe. But when I went to go pull all the soaps to do the lather test, just today, literally today, had to get that footage done. I was actually in love with it. I wasn't mad at it. It was really pretty. And so I'm excited for you to see it. And so I guess maybe that can be a lesson for if you don't like your soap, just let it sit for a little bit and see what it does. You might end up loving it. Maybe. I don't know. This is a weird pattern. And I don't think that cutting it the right way, which would have been cutting it into chunks and then cutting it horizontally, was my thinking, would have made it look any better. But, you know, it's fine. It's soap. It smells delightful. The tobacco vanille is everything good in this world, and the vanilla embers is also everything good in this world. Sierra candles is mostly everything good in this world. But see what I mean about them sort of starting to look like rib cages? That's what I got on one side of the mold, which would have been the side that was not propped up because the soap batter was doing its gravity thing and pushing down to that side. So yeah, some of them look like rib cages, but those are our soaps. They are actually really awesome in that they exist in the world and we get to test them. And like I said, the finished product, it was very beautiful, but you don't get to see that for a couple days. For now, there's that and the benefits of this recipe, and we'll get to check out the tests in just a few days, as I said, but for now, there it is. And there it is, a coffee butter soap recipe. And yeah, no real problems from the recipe itself. Obviously, as I talked about in the video, the reasons for selecting the coffee butter at the percentage that I did, and then supplementing along with the coffee or with the coconut oil. Great times to be had by all, for sure, but that wasn't going to impact my batter. The real thing that impacted my batter was obviously the scent. When you're playing with different scents, and some accelerate and some do not, some discolor and some do not, you're going to run into these problems sometimes for sure. Also with this one, I was a complete bonehead, and while I poured it the way that I wanted, I forgot to do the rest of the stuff that I wanted to do with it. So with, you know, the skewering and like the hanger and then cutting it the right... I messed that up. I cut it normal, but you got to see some pretty stuff in there. Soap cutters and stuff. Wasn't that amazing? I know, they're super gorgeous. I love them too. I am going to be testing these soaps at the end of the week, so at the end of video 4, but that does not mean that you shouldn't watch the rest of the videos, because they're interesting and you'll get to see as a bonus what these soaps looked like, you know, when they were just cut, fresh soap, to what they ended up becoming after a full cure. So you got to stick around for all of that. Otherwise, you don't have a point of reference. Like and subscribe and comment and share is the thing that I'm saying. YouTubers saying the YouTubey things. Yes. Sudsers, thank you for being here. I hope you guys had a good weekend. For those of you that are in the States, I hope you had a good 3-day weekend celebrating MLK and all of the things for sure. Hope you got some good family time, all of the things. But I'm out of here for today because these lights are making me sneeze, and I know that I've cut all of that out, but I've been sneezing like crazy and I have to go because it's a lot and it's taking way longer to say one sentence than I would really like. So I'm going to head out. But I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of coffee-infused soapy fun. Bye. I have to sneeze. This is a terrible time. Oh no. Push through, don't sneeze. So let's get to the video while I do that and also experiment with a new... I sneezed again. Enough. Stop it. Opening up the floodgates and it's just gonna keep going. Oh, come on, stop.